Hello, everyone. It's Omaji, and the Council of Light is fully present, as is your higher self and all of the guides and advisors working with you. And we're gathering in this way for the opportunity to remind you of the alignment, the organic alignment to truth. And we recognize that in this experience of the 3D, 5D, whatever dimension you're identifying in currently, this physical experience, that it can be a little bit confusing at times because we're conditioned to believe that the truth is going to be found out here in a story, in a book, in a teaching, in an article, in a description. And the truth is that truth is actually found in the purest form, in an undistorted form, within your light. And your light is you. You are a beam of light that emanates directly from Source Creator. There's no separation. There's no division. There's no hierarchy. It just is. It just is. You can think of yourself as an aspect of Source itself, Creator itself. And so we would invite you to take a deep breath in as the words we use point to this truth for you and support you in aligning to this truth, because it can be very frustrating when we're looking for truth, seeking truth in the outer world, and it doesn't seem to be there. We seem to find perhaps partial truths, and this can have to do with spirituality, but it can also pertain to current events in our unfolding, in the script, in the story, in the evolution of ourself and humanity. And even in the midst of that apparent unfolding and perhaps confusion and bit of distortion, it's like a minefield of distortion. It's like, where do I actually find truth here? When you source it where it actually lives, at the level of Source, Creator within you, you attune to that purity, pristine, undistorted broadcast of truth, if you will. When you're aligned and attuned and activate within your beam of light, the resonance of that truth, of who you are in relationship to Source, what's really going on in truth, you could say behind the scenes, that activation of truth as a vibration within your energetic fields, within your beam, that then reflects into your fields, that then will reflect into your experience of yourself, serves as your tuning fork and your guidepost so that you can very easily begin to discern what out here is a reflection of truth and what is a distortion. You can feel it, you can sense it, you can know it. It's like, that doesn't feel right. There's a distortion there. Part of that might be true, but there's something there that isn't congruent with truth, with this resonance that I've literally attuned myself into. And when we're attuned into the truth with a capital T, it's much easier to navigate the minefield of information within the physical realm. It's also much easier to know what is ours to do or not do within that. And so we would invite you to take a deep breath in as we bring in some energetic downloads to support you in retrieving all your reference points for where you're accessing truth, or you're trying to find it out here, or maybe in another experience way in the past, you really put your references for truth on a specific teacher or healer or guide. And maybe at the time that was the closest we could get to truth based on what we'd activated within ourselves and what we were ready for in our evolution. But what if now you're ready for the next level? And that pure, pristine, undistorted experience of truth that in essence you are. So will you retrieve all your reference points for truth back to your beam of light that emanates from source, you? Will you bring all your reference points for wisdom back to you? Your infinite supply of wisdom directly from source, God, creator, lives within your light. It has never been apart from you. And when we speak to moving into the sovereignty that are the grids of foundation for unity consciousness, they're woven into every single expression of unity consciousness. This is a major aspect of that sovereignty, where we're no longer seeking anything outside of us to be the source of the wisdom or the truth. We're sourcing it at our divine essence, beam of light that is untouched, unscathed by anything we've ever said or done or pretended to be. Your soul essence, your divine essence, already knows it's one with source. It already knows how to access this infinite wisdom and resources that flow within it. So we would invite you to lean into that part of you and to fire everything outside of you from being the source of the truth or the wisdom or anything. Let your light, which is source, be your source. You are a beam of light emanating from source. If you can imagine source as this brilliant, beautiful, pure essence of love, infinite wisdom, uncompromising truth. You are an emanation of that. Will you remember? And whatever is not allowing that for you, will you release and uncreate it and claim back your power, claim back your sovereignty? To rely on the truth that flows within you to be your guide. And to be the source of truth, which we know does not make sense to the intellect, the linear mind that's used to looking for truth in a story or an article or a book. Now, those things in the outer world can be a reflection of the truth you've activated within yourself. And when we speak to following the light is following those nudges that draw those resources in the physical realm to us, which are actually a reflection of the truth that flows within us. But they aren't the source of it. Can we show you the difference? So everywhere you've given an outside person, teaching, group, authority, the power to be the truth keeper for you, will you release and uncreate that? In other words, you've been trained a bit to a condition to believe that there had to be a go-between, that you couldn't just access it yourself within your light. And this isn't about accessing necessarily linear information. It's about accessing the vibration of truth within you, activating it appropriately by collaborating with your higher self, and then allowing that truth to be reflected and the nudges to align with greater truth with regard to the linear interpretation to be shown. The way will be made as you choose it for you. And we're not saying you have to value truth, but many of you do. And this video is for you. This transmission is for you. Many of you deeply value truth, as do we. And so recognize that it's what you're calling to yourself to cultivate more of within your light, and to rely on that truth within your light to be the source of it. So we're going to show you what we mean by that. We're going to support you as you're willing to rewire your energetic fields, conscious and unconscious, into this configuration where you source the truth within you as the authority, and where you invite your higher self to simply activate more of this pure resonance of truth through your entire being. We're going to invite your body, David, to do the same to the degree that it chooses, your guides, your teams to do the same. Deep breath in. Retrieving any of your energetic fabric of truth or wisdom that you tried to give away to support someone else in aligning to their truth. Retrieving all that now, because they can't use your energetic fabric. They are, as an evolutionary being in the sovereign state, in the process of cultivating their own energetic fabric. You can show them how to do it for you. This is how I do it for me. And then they can go, oh, let me try that for me. So when we hold our energetic fabric of truth on ourselves, we demonstrate to others how to do it for themselves. So you retrieve all that energetic fabric of truth and wisdom that you tried to give away thinking it would be helpful, in the recognition now that it isn't. We're not the source of truth for anyone, just like they aren't the source of truth for us. So will you fire yourself from being the source of truth and retrieve all the energetic fabric of truth and wisdom back to you? Clean it, recalibrate it, reweave it for your current level of consciousness in your energetic fields. Good. So just as you are a beam of light emanating from source with infinite wisdom and truth flowing through you in a pure way, in the purest way possible, undistorted, so is everyone else. And so if we try to be the source for them, we take them out of that natural alignment. We interfere literally with the natural alignment where they're actually intended to source it within themselves. So we can encourage them to source it within themselves. We can point them in a direction in an unattached way, but not trying to make ourselves the savior of them, not taking responsibility for them aligning with truth, allowing them to hold it for themselves. So returning all that responsibility now that you've been holding for anyone or anything, for humanity perhaps, for them to align with truth, for them to activate more truth within themselves. Let them hold that for themselves at the level of their higher selves. Return all responsibility along with all empathic sensations and issues you may have been trying to process for them unconsciously, inviting the body Davis to do the same, and sending appropriate energetic information to everyone you have information for, especially anyone you were trying to process their stuff. Just getting really clean in your own energy, only attached and responsible to you, being aligned with truth so you can demonstrate it in a pure way, in an unattached way. True alignment with source. Good. Deep breath in. We're going to invite a balancing and stabilizing of all your energetic fields, and an updating of all your grids, your reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived, to support you in moving into the new ways of being in sovereignty in regard to truth, wisdom, and everything else. If you found this supportive, We would encourage you to share it liberally with love with those who you feel might resonate. And if you would like this video, it supports us in getting it out to more. So we also have a website at embracingtheinfinite.com, and we have some upcoming offerings that you also may find supportive. And we encourage you to visit our website to learn more. We look forward to connecting with you again. And in the meantime, may you choose to align with what you value with grace and ease in an empowered way. Much love.